Hi, everyone. This is El Cid 932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. This is Love is Blind Brazil, Season 4, Episodes 9 and 10. We are at the weddings. So I decided to be on camera and to wear something that is a little festive for weddings. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. And I do appreciate all of you who have watched my previous videos and are into this Love is Blind Brazil. So for episode 9, where do we start? Marilia finally finds her dress. She finally finds the dress that she is comfortable in. She says she loves it. It is amazing. Finally, Marilia, you have put us through the wire trying to find this dress, and I don't want to know how many dresses you tried before this one, because this is your third wedding. I'm just saying. So Renata is up next to try on her dress. Renata, there were two dresses. There was a slip dress and then another dress. And even though the slip dress was very simple and chic, she said she loves it. She absolutely loves it. So she never thought this day would come true. And Renata's mama was kind of sly. On the sly, she went to the host whispering, say, hey, Marilia's dress was really pretty. Could you have my daughter try on something or try on Marilia's dress? So the host does bring it to Renata later. They say, hey, we do have another dress. It is a dress that Marilia said no to. Would you like to try it on? Because your mama said. Your mama said she liked that dress. So Renata said, we got to pause to see if Renata would go for the dress. And she said, no, she's not going to try on the dress. Good thinking, Renata, because she said, first is the guy we had together. Then I used the same song. I am not going to use or even try on the same dress that Marilia was into. So Alexandro comes back home and asks Renata, well, how was the dress shopping and everything? And she asked, how was his suit shopping? And he was like, my suit is the color of this blanket. Like, remember, they gave Alexandro a burnt orange suit. Now, I have to say later on how he looks wonderful in that suit. But, the camera crew and the staging people, y'all are putting burnt orange all the way around him for him to get more comfortable with this color. The blanket was hilarious. Leandro tells Ingrid that he looks so handsome in his suit and wait till she sees him. Patrick said he never felt that well dressed. Patrick now. Patrick, I always compliment your sweaters in the pods, and I thought they looked so cute. Please do not tell me you haven't dressed up more or you've never been this well dressed before. I don't believe it, Patrick. So Vanessa says she is a bit controlling of some aspects of her life. I do believe that, Vanessa. I hate to say, as a lawyer, but as a lawyer, I would see you trying to control a lot of aspects of your life, or just, if you've never felt control, that you would want to be in control. Now, Marilia tells Patrick how she was very angry at the dresses they made her try on. And I was like, why would you tell him this? This is supposed to be all happy, joy. Just, say, hey, I didn't like the dresses. Just tell him you were angry doesn't bode well when talking to him. So Vanessa says that she is wearing part of her dream. Vanessa and Leo keep having these sayings and moments that I'm like, oh, they say just the right things. So I think it all kind of hit them that they're getting married once they started wearing their dresses and their family saw it. I think that's when it hit them that they were getting married and they, have a fiance that will soon to be their husband. So for Vanessa and Leo, she says she's looking at it all rationally now. She is looking with her head rather than her heart. Leo says, Leo said he always saw himself getting married, but not like this. Leo, I don't think many people saw themselves getting married like this. Okay. So that goes without saying. How many people in this world have had a love is blind situation? Not many. So that right there is a statement a lot of people can get with. Um, Leo said that since they have lived truthfully, they kind of know so many things about each other. But Vanessa says, I want to see how he behaves at the bachelor party. Vanessa says her answer will be based on if the person she wants to share her life with is, wants to share a secure, beautiful future with her. But it also sounds judgy. Like if he doesn't behave at the bachelor party, you're going to cancel everything. Okay, Vanessa. She said, if the answer is no at the altar, if he answers Vanessa no, then she says, don't come after her because it's over. It's finished. Vanessa, you know what? You very much like me. I understand. Don't go back for seconds unless it's food on a plate. Okay? Because if you say no on the altar in front of my friends, family, this camera, which it will be online forever, don't ever come back. Don't try and see me later. So Renata and Alexandro says they go for a picnic in the park. And it seems like he has warmed up to the dog because he's enjoying the walk. He's enjoying spending time with her dog and her. And he, is at the picnic. Now, shady camera people, you put a burnt orange pillow in the mix of pillows at the picnic. Y'all are pushing this orange on Alexandro. I see what y'all are doing. Okay? So Alexandra said he's looking forward to the families getting together because they seem like such great people, and he thinks that the families would just blend so well. And said he will be upset if there's a no at the altar from her. So we pan to Patrick and Marilia, where he says he likes their outfits. They put on these outfits that are kind of matching, but kind of not. But he really likes their outfits and says their one and only fight is due to a lack of communication. Marilia said folks walk away because of the smallest things. And I wonder, Marilia, if you're talking about endurance and enduring stuff with your dad. Remember Marilia's life, her father has struggles in his life, and he's way better now and doing so much with his life and is very good friend to her. And I wonder if that is why she feels like she cannot walk away because people walk away with the smallest things. And I wonder, Marilia, what is a big thing that would make you walk away? Because love is blind is a big thing. This is a wedding. So if he says no, will you walk away or will you accept talking at a later time? I wonder. Then we have Ingrid and Leandro. She tries on dresses for him. They're going out to dinner before the bachelorette party, and she just wants to see how he looks at her when she tries on these different dresses, or she just holds it up, and she loves the way he looks at her. She loves how he admires her, and I'm like, why are y'all showing us that he's talking more about her physical appearance and not about who she is? So I'm sure they're having those talks, but it seems like the camera and everything is talking about how she looks and how he admires her. She says he has delivered on his promise. So I'm guessing, Leandro, that you have come up with the finances to finish this house, because that's the one promise Ingrid said she's interested in. That's the number one promise. Then she keeps interrupting his toast, which I was like, Ingrid, pause, let him finish his toast. Then you can add later. But he said they have gotten through things together, their family, the issues with sex, they worked it through. With money, He's now in control of it and she's happy. And they both say they're scared of losing each other. And we could all understand that. Considering they just met, they've been through all of this in this short space of time, and now you have to not only possibly lose the person, but it's going to be public. That to me is the scary part. Ingrid says being scared makes them appreciate it more. That's quite poignant. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Scared, I don't think I appreciate it when I'm scared, but I'll give her that point. He said he's never going to have it this good again. So he's going to do everything not to mess it up. And Ingrid said he will never meet another woman like her. Well, Ingrid, you're not going to meet another man like him. We're all individuals. But I understand what you mean. And I'm kind of worried about Leandro saying he's not going to do anything to mess it up. Does that mean you're going to do a lot of things just to please her and not necessarily speak up and please yourself? Your sister did say that about, not speaking up to please and saying what you want and need in a relationship. Vanessa and Leo, they're walking in the park. She's dressed in a beautiful white summer dress and he's in his white button-down shirt. And they are going to do photos in the park. She has hired a photographer. So they go through the whole photographs, and the photographer was great. Let's get some action shots. And then they brought out paint. They brought out powder paint so they could, burst the powders. And then they brought out actual wet paint. And it was so well done. It looked like such great fun. His shirt got all kinds of colors on it. Her dress did too, their faces. And it looked like a wonderful, wonderful experience. Renata and Alexandro, he said he wanted to stay home, but being out with her feels better. I think he wanted to stay home, but not sulk, but kind of wonder what her decision will be. And I know that feeling. It's like, what are you going to decide? What are you going to say? But then if you sit at home, Alexandro, that's all you're going to be doing is festering. Renata said, you can only love someone when you are willing to accept who they are and all their flaws. Now put it in the chat if you agree with Renata. You're willing to accept who they are, including all of their flaws. I see a hint of truth there, Renata, but I am not going to answer that question. So Alexandro said that he does not like her friends since they were trying to get her to say no to him. That was his interpretation. And that's how they came across. Like, oh, he's speaking for you now? Oh my God, this is not you. Why are you with him? It was not a good look, ladies. It was not a good look. These are the friends that can keep you single. So he says it's hard for him to say, I love you. He does not say it. He has not said it to Renata. And he says that he only says it to his son freely. And that's quite interesting, Alexandro. And what saved you is when she later says that he expresses it to her every day, but he does not give her the words. Please make it in the comments. Are you accepting of someone who may not say I love you every day, every moment, or when you need it, or someone who says I love you based on all of their actions? That is quite interesting. That's something to think about. But then how do the actions translate into I love you? That's my question. Do you see their actions as love? So the bachelor party, this is really cute. I love what the casting did. They decided to have go-kart racing, race cars. I was like, heck yeah. I would have loved that too. They brought out overalls, like they were all racers with their names on it. They brought all the men from the season, and the grooms were able to bring a friend. Before they went, Patrick says, I'm a great driver. Y'all ain't gonna beat me. Leandro said that Patrick has to be more transparent in his relationship with Marilia so she wouldn't feel this insecure. And then Patrick says, it's passion. It's a lot of passion. And passion goes a long way, but the partnership is the pillar because after the passion fades, they need to have that friendship and partnership. So Patrick is like, we do care for each other, but there's still a lot of passion and they need to build the partnership. Alexandre says, make sure that all the men need to make sure that they don't lose their wives or their partners at the bachelor party. That was funny. That was funny, considering that Vanessa says she's watching Leo. Leo said he cannot relax in case of because of what Vanessa said. He cannot relax and enjoy this whole experience because he doesn't want to lose her. Leandro said that he's never driven a go-kart. Now, if you remember, Leandro also said he doesn't really drive. When he and Ingrid were going on that ATV, he said he doesn't really drive. So I could believe that. So, Leandro, I don't have much hope of you winning this. So after the custom overalls, they're driving, all of them are having fun, there are bumps. Some people don't want to be at the back of the pack. Oh, they also bet Patrick tried to get everybody to bet $1,000, see if they would win. Some said $50, but Alexandro is like, let's bring it down a notch. Let's just, a pitcher of beer. So the race, Patrick placed third, and two friends of the grooms placed first and second. Now, Alexandro's friend placed first. So Alexandro tried to say, well, I didn't win, but the person I brought won. Good one, Alexandro. I would have used that one. But Patrick is like, no, man, it was you and me. You owe me a pitcher of beer. All in good fun. So they were all talking, and Evandro was there, and he explained that his fiancée at the time, Ariella, that he said her actions were way out of line. Way out of line. That's why he ended it. He said he apologized to her. He sent her a text, and she never answered it. Ariella, you may not want to hear him, but give the man a little closure or at least acknowledge the text. He said it's okay because he got to say and get off his chest what he needed in sending that text message to her, which is interesting. It's like, I don't need her to respond to me, but I just need to say what I said. Good one for you. So Renata says she hopes she doesn't have to do this wedding thing again. Oh my gosh, Renata. I know what you mean. You're like, I want this to be forever. Ariella says that she is going to behave tonight because it's not about her. It's about them. All the other times it wasn't about you alone, Ariella. You could have behaved then. But we will see if Ariella behaves. She also says in her confessional that she knows there's going to be love in her life. There knows there's someone out there for her. But she doesn't know if that someone is going to be a man or a woman. Good for you, Ariella. But she wanted to apologize to Marilia for how she spoke to her at the pool. It's funny how you want to speak to Marilia and apologize when you also were this brash to Alexandro at the pool. You were this way with Evandro at the pool. There are a few other people you need to apologize to, Ariella. So Marilia says Ariella will never change. She'll get mad and she'll leave. That is her MO. That is how she behaves. Said she's used to, Marilia also said to the girls that she's used to a man worshiping her. I wonder if this also means you're used to being chased, and in this instance, you're kind of chasing Patrick. She's tired of being a grown up, and that Patrick hears her when she speaks and he works on it and makes changes based on what she said. I applaud you, Patrick, because anyone who can hear what their partner needs and then make adjustments, that's really, really great. Ingrid and Marcia, or Marcia, I think it's Marcia, were talking. And if you remember, Marcia was in the first episode. She's the lovely lady with vitiligo. And unfortunately, her dude broke up with her in the pods, saying he was not ready after they made it a long way in the pods. And she said she could never forgive him. So Marcia said it took about a week for her to process all of this. Now, Marcia, come on now, a week? She said she has no feelings for him. She said they met, they talked, and she said the spell was broken when she left the pods. I can see that, Marcia. It's like you're in the pods, you're in a enclosed area, you are in basically, you're in a controlled environment. And once that is gone and you have all these other distractions, maybe you don't want to invest time in him. He sent flowers, which was nice, thank you. And Ingrid asked if she's sure. You sure you're over, girl? You don't want a little kissy poo? Ingrid, I think you were tipsy at this point. I will give you that. But Ingrid, I think you were a little tipsy with what was going on. Oh my gosh, Ingrid is just such fun. So Vanessa says she's feeling insecure because all the women are here. So what happened is all the women from the show are here for the bachelorette party. After a while, they brought all the men in. All the men from the show, including the ones that are grooms and the ones that were not. So you'll see who we meet with Vanessa, because Rodrigo is here. Remember, Rodrigo is the last person. He was neck and neck with Leo until she made the decision for Leo. So Vanessa gets mad because Leo was going around saying hello to everybody. And when you say hello, shake hand, kiss on the cheek, he came to her and he had lipstick on his face. Vanessa, you know where the lipstick came from. It's from the ladies, and he wasn't doing anything different. Everybody was giving a hug and a kiss. You even, as we see in the next shot, you even gave Rodrigo a kiss on the cheek. So now he has lipstick on his cheek. So let's not take it too far. Ingrid said the men have a talent for messing things up. So the men need to behave at this bachelorette setting. Now, I do like this. I do like this a lot. I wish the US version had all the contestants at the bachelorette instead of just the grooms and their friends, or the brides and their friends. I love this. It's a great way to get the whole cast together too. So Evandro does go to say hello to Ariella, gave her a quick hug, and that was that. And he says, well, he doesn't say it, but I inferred that Ariella hides from things. The fact that she wouldn't read his text and answer him, and then she would see him and hug him and say hello and hi, it seems like you want to hide from the digging deep on certain emotions. So Ingrid tells the young man, and his name escapes me now. Why does this escape me? The young man who was attached to Marcia told him to go to speak to Marcia, and Marcia still has feelings. He says he's afraid of rejection. And Ingrid says later on, she didn't realize that Marcia had moved on. Ingrid, this proves you were a little tipsy. Marcia told you she was done. She moved on. She didn't care. She had no feelings. You just didn't want to hear it. I know what it is. You wanted your friend to find love, and you were hoping that this gentleman was the one she would find it with. Great sentiment, Ingrid, but Marcia said she done. Done, done. So we have next Muriel and Gabriel. They actually came. If you remember, they are the ones that they did get engaged in the pods. They met on the runway. But for some reason, well, Muriel said it's because he looked too much like her ex. But they left the pod separately after meeting on that runway. But they met up later, they got to know each other, and they started living together after a week. And now they're engaged and they're getting married. So, Gabriel, I think they call him another name, and I cannot remember it offhand. And they say they're getting the finances in order before the wedding, and they have a baby on the way. Y'all work quick. Gabriel, Gabriel, y'all work quick. Y'all have a baby on the way? It's only been a few weeks. It's only been probably a month, 2 months. Y'all working quick. This is quick. You have a baby on the way? I mean, when the US version asks for babies on Love is Blind, they're not asking for it to be, hey, before the wedding even happens, here's a baby. So Vanessa says she's impressed that Leo is behaving. Vanessa, he's not enjoying the party. You're impressed he's behaving, but he's not enjoying. I mean, and since you put that out there, of course he's going to behave. You're not going to get his true self. And now later on at another party somewhere, you're going to see the true Leo. But you just dampened it for him. So Patrick said he wanted to win because he tells Marilia because she likes race car drivers. And she's like, but that's not why I wanted you to win. I just wanted you to have fun. He's like, yeah, but you think race car drivers are cool. So I wanted to do that and win and bring it home for you. It was sweet, but it's like, she likes race car drivers. And that's why? Patrick, please. So, as I said, I really liked the party. I really liked having everybody together, all the contestants, everybody meeting each other. Except the US does like a reception where they meet, and then they have a bachelorette party. And I would prefer to have everybody together, all the contestants, and kind of get an update. I would like to get an update. So now we're at the weddings. Yay! We will begin with Renata and Alexandro. She said she wished and prayed for this day. And Alexandro has made up for the fact that it's a beach wedding. So this burnt orange color is going to work well. And he has come to terms with this color that they gave him. And he said, if she says no, he will be quite sad. I think it stands to reason, Alexandro, that if anybody says no, you'll be sad because of what you've gone through with this person. Now, she said she has picked her brother and her twin sister to be her best man and maid of honor. And I wonder if you could put it in the chat. Is this how Brazil does weddings? The bride and the groom each get like a best man and maid of honor? And I wonder, or is it just because Renata has a brother that she added him to her bridal party? I'd like to know. If y'all research it, let me know in the comment section. So her brother is quite funny. He's like, hey, it ain't too late. If you don't want to go through this, it's on the beach. We got a boat. We got a car. You pick one. We be out. We'll switch you with your sister. Your sister could marry him under your name. And she could disappear on the honeymoon. And it'll be all good. I'm like, this brother is too funny. You've thought this out a little too much. Just a tad too much you've thought this out. So Alexandro said he's anxious. He's anxious for what Renata's answer will be. And her brother in his confessional says he doesn't think she's sure. And, he says we need to drink and stop crying. Bro, I'm with you. For a wedding, just drink, stop the crying. The only waterworks should be what you're drinking out of your glass. That's the Alexandro's dad is surprised that he's getting married again. Hmm. Hmm. But he says, this is Alexandro's dad, said that when you are alone, you can waste your life away. Wow, a life with family is what matters. Renata's friend wants her to say no. So, Alexandro, your dislike and reason for disliking them, yeah, they showed it. They, the one friend that she invited to be a bridesmaid, wants her to say no. So the host visits Renata, and this is also different than to the US version. The hosts don't visit on the wedding day, nor are the hosts a part of the wedding, and you'll see what I mean later on. So the hostess visits Renata. The friends say it doesn't matter what she thinks, but Renata will make her own decision. And if Alexandro is her decision, then that is her decision. The host, trying to be a little messy, trying to be a bit messy, says, well, you should listen to your friends sometimes because they sometimes have great advice. Zip it, host, zip it. We don't want to hear that because this friend was not coming from a good place. She wasn't even trying to hear Alexandro. So Alexandro said again, he's nervous that she will say no. He's sweating bullets. Then Renata's parents come to visit her, and the mom is crying because she sees herself in Renata. Renata proposed to Alexandro just like the mother proposed to the dad, and they're still together today. And the dad said he's just happy. He's just happy. He just wants her to be happy, and this is all great. Alexandro's sister says she cannot imagine Renata saying no, but the sister is apprehensive. The brother in law says it will be very awkward if Renata says no. Renata's dad says, don't let the don't let the groom, don't let Alexandro see you crying because he might think you're going to say no. Now, Dad, is that a spoiler? If Alexandro says no, then Dad is like, we're going to have a little talk in private. Alexandro is still saying he's nervous. He's nervous. He's nervous. Um, Renata says her mom is her idol, and the mom says, hey, just enjoy your life. Your life isn't going to be exactly like mine. Live your life and enjoy it. Alexandra's sister says something quite interesting. She says that Renata is very much like their mother. The same hair color, even though they're all blonde, Alexandro and his sister. Renata has very long black hair. She says Renata is just like their mom, with the dark hair, and the personality is the same, the welcoming, warm personality. And I'm wondering if this is what helps the sister warm up to her. And I wonder if that's what Alexandro was thinking when he saw her, like, oh, I picked my mom even behind a wall. Then the whole wedding reception is there. So you see all the tables, chairs for the wedding reception on one side, and then you see the aisle with the chairs and the great arch in front. But I'm like, it's like you're right here. And that's different too with the Love is Blind weddings. I guess we don't, it's not right there in the outside. You just go inside for the reception, but it's not in front of your face when you're walking down the aisle, or at least in the angle of the camera. So, so what happens? Mm. What happens if it's a no? Since the reception is already there, all the tables, chairs, and everything, what do we do if it's a no? Everything's already set up. Do we still party? That's just my question. So the hosts also walk down the aisle. They're like part of the bridal party. They walk right up to the groom. They shake his hand. This is Alexandro, and they do it with all the grooms. This is different from the U.S. The hosts are nowhere to be found around the weddings. Anyway, they walk down the aisle. They say hey to the groom, wish him luck, and they sit down. Renata feels tense, nervous, and anxious. She just wants to get this done. So she walks down the aisle, and when she reaches him, he takes her hand from her dad and he does a forehead kiss. Mm. Many people think forehead kiss is quite romantic. I have a different point of view. Forehead kisses for me are what you receive from family members. So that's why it's a little different for me. So when they asked, will you take Alexandro? She says, I will read my vows and he will have my answer. So Renata reads her vows in episode 10. They cut us off right there to move to the next episode. So right away, vows, she says she enjoys time with him. She said, God unites destinies. She can't get enough of the time she spends with him. And that her answer is yes. Alexandro is so touched, he starts to cry. He says she has touched his heart, and that's what made him cry. Renata's friend, if he says no, she will kill him. I'm like, what is going on? All these private talks in the back. We go take it outside. This is supposed to be joyous, even if they say no. Can we have some joy? Can we have some understanding? I mean, I'm gonna kill him. That's what she said. So he says yes. So it's a yes for both Renata and Alexandro. Yay! Then he says, I love you. And it's the first time he said it, and it is at the altar. Now tell me, do you think that's romantic? Do you think that was planned by Alexandro, or was he going with the moment? I'm not sure. I think if it's planned, it's a wonderful plan. But if it's not planned, it's very heartfelt. But I don't know. Do I want to wait till the altar? Because for some people, because you haven't said I love you, they may be gone. Well, play it, Alexandro, if it was a play. Next wedding. Ingrid and Leandro. She said she couldn't sleep all night reflecting on all of the experience. He took a moment. He got out of the car. He took a moment to look around, and he noticed this is a beautiful place. This is a beautiful place for a wedding. He says he wears good luck beads for his guidance. Now, this is key. For editing, I always wondered if Ingrid and Leandro would actually be on the same level as far as her faith. And it seems they are, because the way he talks about his beads and how they center him, I think they are on the same level. And that is quite interesting. Ingrid says she usually has an impulse to run away. When things get tough, she will run. Can't run now, Ingrid. The camera is on you. The sister says, every time you falter or cry, we are there with you. And they gave each other Eskimo kisses. It's a longer talk that the sister had, but they commiserated on. They've had a hard life, but they have always been there for each other. So Leandro's mom said they were apprehensive, but they are better now because they understand. And they see that Ingrid is helping him mature. And Dad said he is calmer and more aware of himself, which if Dad can say that, I think Ingrid has certainly brought great things, out of Leandro. Ingrid and her daughters. Okay, Ingrid, your daughters, absolutely beautiful. And those braids and braid patterns in their hair, and the one daughter kept the burgundy color in her hair. Oh my God, that was beautiful. Oh, cannot. So Ingrid says she can be very demanding, and he is too reserved, and she needs him to be more talkative. Because if she's demanding and he isn't responding or saying anything, that could put her off a bit. So he says he's nervous and just wants to get the wedding on. Let's just get this done. He had his two sisters come in and they said they have many questions for Ingrid because they only met her that one time, and that was certainly not enough to understand what was going on with her because he is their little brother. Now, ladies, Leandro's sisters, I see and hear you can be a bit overprotective. And I wonder if that overprotectiveness means you're going to butt in on their marriage. I do hope not. I do hope you let them find their way. So the sisters also realize that Ingrid helps to keep him calm. I haven't seen Leandro go off the handle or be mad and loud and boisterous. So what? He has always appeared calm. So what are they talking about? Leandro, what part of your personality are you hiding? I'd like to know. Because for your sisters to say you are keeping calm, that is very interesting, and I'd like to know where that comes from. Ingrid's mom said it will be a yes for both. Mama said, I know. They're both going to say yes. So let's get this going. Her stepdad is honored to be there as her dad. That's wonderful. So the host visits Leandro. You can see the hosts are at the second wedding. And the family has come around, and he could see that, and all seems well. So the hostess visits Ingrid, who says 2 times the doors have closed before I can get to this point. 2 times. And I wonder, Ingrid, does this mean you were engaged 2 times, or the relationship went to a certain point 2 times? She said also his silence can be deafening. Hear that? Your silence can be deafening. Ingrid, very well said. Your silence could be as loud as fireworks. But does his silence mean that there's something wrong? And I think, Ingrid, you need to process that maybe a little bit. Because silence doesn't mean bad. It just means I have nothing to say at this time. My grandfather used to be silent. He's like, there are no words for me to say right now. So that when the host talks to Leandro, he says, if she says no, he will be mature about it. He will thank her and he will move on with his life, but he hopes that she says yes. Ingrid is comfortable with her answer before she gets down the aisle. And Leandro's mom says it will work out because they will be together for a long time. All these parents are all putting this, hey, it's going to be good. This is going to be positive because they're going to be together and this is going to last. I love it. I love the families actually pouring positive into these marriages and relationships. So Ingrid comes down the aisle with, I think it was both her parents, her mom and her stepdad. And Leandro starts to cry hard. I mean, they pan away from him in the camera, but we saw the ugly cry come out. We saw the ugly cry. He was hit emotionally in seeing her. The officiant said, we are here at a black altar. I mean, we had a black wedding now. We are here at a black altar is what she said. Black people have always had to fight for their rights and to fight for the love they deserve. You better preach. What church is you from? Well, I hope it has Spanish or English subtitles at that church. But she says, with all of this, we cherish affection and we cherish love. Time to know, this is the officiant being a tad bit messy. Who has shown the officiant or told the officiant what to say? Because unless she has seen the footage, she won't know these things to put in those vows. And this officiant, said it's time to know if the new house will only have Ingrid living in it or if they will live in it together. How would she know? Who in production told her? So Leandro says, I do. And then we pan to Ingrid, and Ingrid says, yes. Ingrid said yes. They both say yes. And Ingrid said, it has been difficult as a strong woman to deal with the wounds that have made her as strong as she is. And fear has been her protection, and she no longer wishes to let fear stand in her way of love. Leandro says, you complete me every day, and we will grow old together. Wonderful, wonderful wedding. It was, everybody was so happy. Everybody was joy, 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 joy. Next wedding, next decision is Marilia and Patrick. Marilia said she is happy with her dress. She's excited. Um, Patrick says he is anxious, nervous, and excited. And makes a toast to himself. He's like, a toast to me. The entire day is in his honor. He's never had one of those. Patrick, dear, the entire day is not in your honor. It's in both of y'all honor. Okay? Don't forget you have a bride, Patrick. It isn't just a groom's day. Okay? Marilia keeps saying she's happy. Patrick said he's anxious to see the crowd. Patrick, this is not a performance. Why are we anxious to see the crowd? Marilia has her dad come, and her dad is her biggest cheerleader. And she said she enjoyed the experience at the best time of her life, with her career, with herself, just with life in general. But she's extremely nervous. Dad said something very, 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 very poignant that I did appreciate. Dad said he has been trying to be a better father for her in her life, but she just needs him to be there. Dad, say it for those in the back. Said after all the trials and tribulations they've been through, Dad said he's trying to be a better father, but he just needs her to be there, and that she is his buddy. They have a great friendship. So the host goes to Patrick and says, Patrick says he's chill, but he gonna cry. I believe Patrick will cry, even though Patrick is, boisterous and a little more fun. I think he may cry. So Marilia and her mom, okay, Marilia, your mom's dress is stunning. I want mama's dress. And then no, it's very strange to say you want the mother of the bride's dress. Marilia's mama's dress was stunning. Very simple, very chic, and had this great big bow on the shoulder that I love. It had this big bow that came from middle of her arm, like you just placed a bow and it went over the shoulder. Marilia's mom, please let me know where you got that dress. Love it. Love the dress. The hostess visits Marilia, and Marilia said she could never imagine that she would be this nervous. The host, who was with Patrick, says he comes off as a jokester, but it's not all who he is. Guessing there's a serious side to Patrick, which we saw with Marilia, and we saw with Patrick when he talked about being overweight and all he had to overcome to lose all that weight. So Patrick's mom comes in and gives him a big hug. And Marilia does not care about him wearing a hat, because the hostess asked, is Patrick going to wear a hat down the aisle? She said, I don't care what kind of hat he wears. It could be a sombrero. It could be an equestrian hat. It could be a bowling hat. She don't care as long as he's there. And Patrick's mom brought him a tan hat to match the suit. This is after Marilia's mom said, Patrick gonna be down the aisle with a hat and sunglasses. Okay. Patrick, we saw you switch out the hats. Thank you, shady cameraman. We saw you switch out the hats. Just embrace the new hairline. It does not look unattractive at all, Patrick. It's perfectly fine. Please, just embrace it. And sometimes the hats leaving sweat and other things on the hairline does more damage than just letting it breathe. Just a thought. But it's not unattractive, Patrick. So Patrick walks in with his dog and his mom. So the dog is a part of the wedding. Remember, he said the dog has ruined many a relationship in the past. The hosts again are here at this wedding, and they are walking down the aisle where they embrace and greet Patrick and wish him luck. Marilia's mom and dad walk her in, and I love this. There are many a times where the parents have a, breakup for many reasons, and they can come together when needed for their kid. Marilia stops it going down the aisle to give her grandmother a hug and kiss. I guess she was not expecting her to be there, but she's like, I have to stop. I have to stop and greet grandma. Patrick started crying when they hugged. She got up to the aisle. He accepted her hand, and when they hugged, Patrick started crying on her shoulder. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, but apart from beautiful Patrick crying, the backdrop of their wedding. It's not my favorite. It's my second favorite. The backdrop of their wedding, of the trees and like the hanging moss from the trees. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, nature is just gorgeous. The officiant said that another one. Did y'all tell these officiants what was going on in the pods? Because it seems so. Officiant says that, all in due time, all in due course. And yeah, Patrick is a jokester, and he professed his love to the wrong person all the way in the pods. Patrick is like, wait a minute, this is my date. In a jokester manner. Then they asked Marilia, and Marilia is giving her speech as to she enjoys being with Patrick, she enjoys being with him, and she loves who he is and what he does. And she said her answer, and they said it at the same time. 3 words. Not just yet. That seems to be their theme for the rest of the evening. Not just yet. They both have been honest and transparent in the whole process. They are not going to put the label of marriage just yet. But they do have joy and companionship. Patrick said this has been an intense personal evolution. He is grateful for her family for accepting him. And they're going to go through this and just enjoy the joy of living. We are here to celebrate. We're not here to get married, but we're here to celebrate. We're going to let life be a guide, because this is not all a fairy tale. Marilia says that Patrick has a big heart. She cannot imagine days without him. She loves him and his mom. It's a no to marriage, but a yes to us. She respects the process, but today is a celebration of love. So the officiant goes along with it and say, hey, y'all may not be getting married, but you may kiss your babe. That's a good save, officiant. You may kiss your babe. And they kissed, and they're like, it's just a not yet, but we are going to celebrate because we are still in love, but marriage is not in the cards for us right now. Marilia, when did y'all decide this? Exactly when? Because it has to have been after the blow up about the dress. There is no way you are carrying on about a dress when you know it is not going to be your wedding day. Just a thought. You are not having a wedding day, but you are blowing up about the dress. I hope it was after you picked out the dress. I'm just saying. Or maybe I'm just reading too much. Tell me calm down in the comments if you're like, she's, even though she's going to say no, she still wants to look her best. But I'm like, I still want to look my best, but I'm not flipping out on the stylist. Okay. Next wedding. So let's keep score. Let's keep score. Renata and Alexandro said yes, both of them. So we had a wedding. Then we had Ingrid and Leandro. They both said yes, we have a wedding. Third, we had Patrick and Marilia. Not just yet. I guess that's the English version, translation. And our final wedding, Leo and Vanessa. Woo-hoo-hoo! So Leo decides he's nervous, so he went for a swim. They are having a beachside, like cliffside, beachside wedding. So he went down to the beach. He had to swim that morning to calm himself. And Vanessa thanks God for making her dreams come true today. So I would point out that when they walk in, the bride walks into her bridal suite. The bridal gowns are on display on a mannequin. I have to say, I absolutely love that. It is absolutely beautiful for the bride to walk in and see her dress not hanging in a bag, but actually on a mannequin waiting for her. It's a beautiful shot. So whoever decided to do that as a producer, absolutely beautiful display for all of them. So Leo says the swim helped him to relax. His sisters, who are, okay, Leo has a blue suit with a white tie, looking dapper. All of the men look great in their suits. But my first choice will be Leandro and then Leo. But the sisters are each wearing a different shade of blue, which looks so good. So the sister told him when he started crying, when she hugged him, she's like, "Don't cry, you're going to ruin your makeup." I would have hollered out laughing. I don't know how Leo did not. She's like, "Don't cry, you're going to ruin your makeup." Then he says that his middle sister has always been seen as a father figure since both parents had to basically leave them home a lot amongst themselves um, while they, worked. And I'm guessing Leo's the baby with the way both of the sisters and the middle sister was more like a dad figure. I'm guessing, I may be correct or incorrect, that, he's the baby of the family. So the sister tells him he needs to have lots of patience and lots of talking to his spouse to make things happen, to make things go well. Have patience. The tips were patience and talking. So his toast with his sisters was to health, love, happiness, and French kissing. I love to see good siblings like that. I'm an only child, so I don't know what that sibling, you know, affection and stuff like that is, but I do like to see it with the teasing and even at this great moment. So Vanessa gets her makeup done. She's the only bride we see with the makeup artist. Everybody else gets done and we're straight to their camera shots. So her bridesmaids bring in her dog who's dressed like a little bride. Oh my god, it's so cute. And the dog's name is Pandora. And she continues to say that Leo is wonderful to her and she could see herself as his wife and partner. Leo's mom says he is so handsome and he compliments her dress. She's like, "Well, what do you think about my dress?" I like Leo's mom. I love her. She is so like, "Yeah, you look handsome, son. What about me? What about my dress? How do I look?" And the dad just tells him, "Don't cry, just be happy." And then the dad gives him his grandfather's ring. Now, what's important about this is what Leo says, that dad gave him that ring at his graduation. Apparently, it's a family heirloom and it's for major moments in your life. So the dad gave it to him at graduation, and Leo gave it back to him and said, "Give it to me at a great moment in my life." So the dad brings it now and gave it to Leo, and Leo accepted it. That was a wonderful moment. I thought that was an absolutely wonderful moment. The dad said that that ring, which was his dad's and has been passed down, is a symbol of respect and the importance of family. Wonderful moment. We always see these moments where the bride always has these family heirlooms passed down, something borrowed. We always see women usually with that sentiment. And I must say it's wonderful, and I'm glad to see a moment with the groom with this symbol of their family. Wonderful. So the hostess comes to visit Vanessa, and Vanessa reflects on their journey and said it was difficult to leave her life, but she had to leave her life and her work life and everything to be able to chase her dream. She said all was good at the time, and all is good in God's time. The host goes to visit Leo and tells the parents, "You have a wonderful son. He is the most down to earth person they have ever had on their show." Vanessa and her parents, the dad hugs her tight. Remember, we were talking before, and the dad, Leo, was intimidated by the dad's photo, but he did ask for her hand. And the dad is like watching this man coming for my daughter, like, who are you? Are you good enough for her? I don't know. But the dad hugs her really, really tight. The mom gives her, blessing and hopes that God blesses their life. The dad said he has no words. He's just so moved by Vanessa and this whole experience. Leo told his mom that he was getting married. So she explains that she knew he was going on the show because she was present when he got his acceptance letter for the show, and he just was like, "I'm getting married. I'm getting married." Not that I'm going on the show. Leo already put it out into the universe. I'm getting married. Vanessa said her parents will support her in all things. The dad said Leo seems like a real man. He seems like a real dude. Leo's mom said she will beat up Vanessa if there's a no. What is with all this? What's with... We're at weddings, we're well dressed. And that's what Leo's mother said. I did my hair, my makeup, I got dressed up for a wedding and a wedding celebration. Not to hear no. Not to hear no. Said I got dolled up for a wedding. Vanessa says she trusts the universe and that she trusts that God has what's best for her when asked, what if Leo says no? This was my favorite wedding background. Absolute favorite. They were like cliffside on the beach. Cliffside with the beach. The waves were just crashing right behind them. Absolutely magnifique. The blue colors of the flowers going down the aisle and then swirling in the arch. Who designed this wedding? You did magnifique. Oh my word, this was a beautiful place for a wedding. So, Vanessa did something a little different that I've never seen before. Maybe I haven't been to too many weddings lately. She's walking down the aisle with her dad, and she's holding her bouquet, but it's on her hip. Her hand is on her hip with the bouquet. And I thought that was different. I would like to, I should have looked that up before I came and did the video recap. So Leo forehead kisses her dad. When he brought her, he gave a handshake, and Leo gave the dad a forehead kiss. Dad says, "Make my daughter happy." And the dad starts to cry. So the officiant goes on about their love, that they are both in CrossFit, that they are both lawyers, and they had to go all the way to Love is Blind, where they lived in the same town, to find each other. So they asked Vanessa, do you take Leo? Vanessa says yes. Actually, she says yeah. It's like, but that I'm a stickler for a yes or a I do. Leo says yes. So we have another wedding. They are married. Leo says it's important for those who are here not to give up on love, that he has prayed for her to be in his life. Vanessa says she was so focused on life goals, the dreams of marriage seemed very elusive, and she had to give up control and let God take the reins. There you go, Vanessa. See what happened? You got yourself a husband. So after that, and they, kiss the bride and they leave the ceremony area, we pan back to Marilia. Because remember, Marilia and Patrick said, not just yet. Marilia saying, it's not yet is best thing for them, but they had a beautiful experience. Patrick says they will continue together, and if they're going to have a wedding in the future, it will be another wonderful day. Okay, that's a wonderful way of seeing it. They did their filming separately. I wonder, they didn't show us any video of celebrating and the reception, because I'm sure everything's already cooked, everything is done. Can we just party? Did Patrick and Marilia have a party? We didn't see it. We go back to Leo and Vanessa. Leo says he is happy. He is happy, at peace, and grateful. Ingrid and Leandro. Ingrid says this is the happiest day, and she will talk about this experience till her very last day. Renata and Alexandro, they hug, I believe it's her parents. Alexandro said he did not think he would be so emotional. Renata says she hopes it lasts forever and she won't ever have to get married again. Renata, this wedding was done by producers, production, everything. You did not have to do this from scratch on your own. So I cannot imagine you wanting to do this again where you have got to make all the arrangements. It's Vanessa and Leo. Vanessa says she feels married. And they toast to, Vanessa's toast is to us and a new chapter. We go to Ingrid and Leandro. Leandro says he has found himself and found Ingrid. And he tells her, you are my life now, which she just melts when he says that. Ingrid said she never thought she would find love, especially not Black love. I hear you, Ingrid. I hear you. She also says the ancestry and ancestors have brought them together. So Renata says she wants to have fun and enjoy her new husband. That is her confessional to the camera. So my question too is, the hosts are at all these weddings. Every last wedding. We had 4, right? We had Renata and Alexandro. We had Vanessa and Leo, Ingrid and Leandro. Now we don't know if Patrick and Marilia had a party. It's 4. 3 actual marriages. And the hosts are at all these parties. Not in the US. Netflix, what is it? Are the US hosts not going to the weddings? Is it too much to have them there? Because the hosts were in different outfits at each wedding, hair and makeup. What is it? The US hosts do not come to these weddings. This was different. Leo said, let's dance and get married. And then say, oops, we already married. I'm already married. Leo, how long is it going to take you to be comfortable and realize you are married? Vanessa says it all works out. Renata says the Renata that came into the experiment is not the same one that's leaving the experiment. Alexandro just screams out, "I'm married." Next, we see Muriel and Gabriel. These are the two that are going to get married. They were in the experiment. They did not make it to the show. They left after seeing each other on the runway, but met after the show, are together, married, and he says expecting a baby. They had a party to get folks who are dear to them all together. Only a couple of the married folks came to that party that we saw. They are getting their finances together. They are going to get married next year. That is Muriel and Gabriel. And they just wanted all of their good friends and family to be with them and to share their love. So they didn't have a wedding or reception with the show, but they had this party with their friends. Ingrid and Leandro showed up. Vanessa and Leo came, and they all wished them well. That was the end of Love is Blind Brazil. This was episode 9 and 10. And leave in the comments, what did you think about the weddings? What did you think about the decisions? Because only Marilia and Patrick decided not just yet. And it seems they made that decision before they had a discussion about it, so no one is surprised at the altar. Do you think production is happy with this, or they are upset that they didn't get a sensationalized ending? So put that in the comments. But I do want to offer congratulations to Renata and Alexandro. Congratulations as well to Leo and Vanessa. And last but not least, congratulations to Ingrid and Leandro. I do wish y'all all the best in the future. I know this was recorded. Whether y'all are together or not, I have certainly enjoyed watching you guys and reviewing. And I do hope we have an after the altar or we have a reunion. I am 4 seasons behind joining Love is Blind Brazil. I am not sure if they have a reunion or just an after the altar, but I look forward to seeing the evolution of these relationships, whether you got married in this episode or not. Totally look forward. And for Muriel and Gabriel, wish you all the best as well. And I hope Netflix, that stories like Muriel and Gabriel, that you actually bring that to us, because we would be interested in what happened after the fact and like to follow them. So once again, thank you for joining me. I hope you can join me for others. I know there's Love is Blind Mexico coming up. Love is Blind UK is in August. So please like, share, subscribe, hit me a comment, or I am on IG as L_Sid_speaks. And just hit me a line so I can know what you're thinking, what you may like me to review. But I like continuing with these relationship shows so we could kind of delve into different cultures, how they handle weddings, marriages, how we are so similar and how we are so different. So thank you again, and I hope to see you in the next video.